Hey, how's it going, everybody? I hope all is well. So today, for my conscious advice channel, I'm going to talk about the power of silence and being quiet. The power of silence is really amazing. I've been practicing it for a while now, and what do I mean when I say the power of silence? Is pretty much being quiet, being still. Either when you have time to do so, or in times of, you know, a situation that arises, either bad or good, and also just being quiet in general, when you are alone or facing or interacting with anybody. And what happens here is when you do this, um, when you are quiet, you you begin. It obviously takes time, but when you are quiet, you begin to start catching and hearing, the thought processes in your head, or the voices, random thoughts, random events that has happened to you either in the past, the future. And when you keep quiet, you you begin to be aware of your mind chatter, your mind chattering, your internal mind chatter, either when you're alone or when you're interacting with someone, or when you have a circumstance or situation that has risen in front of you. You begin to worry, stress, so on and so forth. So when you keep quiet, when you're still, you begin to hear, you begin to become aware of these thoughts that occur to you in your head, and which is known as the internal mind chatter. It really takes some time before you actually start becoming, aware of this. It took me a while, and I'm still learning, but you begin to catch yourself more and more when you have this internal mind chatter. It might be any triggers that you get, any objects that remind you of a past memory or whatever, or if someone is, getting on your nerves, and you begin to have a separate conversation in your head in regards to this person who's in front of you, as to what they're saying, who they are, who are they, why they're doing this, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. But for example, with a confrontation like that with a person, when you are quiet and you're still, and you let the person rant, and you let the person shout, or you let the person do whatever, he or she, they themselves, without any response, and you just be silent, without any response, they would just gradually become quiet, because at that point in time they are unconscious. And because they notice that you're not interacting with them, your mind is not busy along with their busy mind, which is how, arguments and fights come about, because, both parties are unconscious, and they tend to, obviously ego is also involved here, who has to be right, and so on and so forth. But in doing so, both parties become unconscious, arguing with one another. But if one person becomes quiet and still, and obviously still will definitely be having some internal mind chatter, but will be aware of that mind chatter. When that person becomes quiet, the opposing party would eventually calm down, because he or she is not getting any response from the person who's silent. Like I said, it took me a while to to get to become aware of the voices or the internal mind chatter. But in being silent and doing so, by being quiet and not saying anything back, you become really aware of whatever mind chatter you have uh, at that moment. And then when you have that awareness of that mind chatter, eventually over a period of time, it gets better. The also good thing about silence is that when you're silent and you're by yourself, apart from the mind chatter that you will have of whatever past, present, or what you've done to the day or what you've done yesterday, whatever. When you become silent, you tend to, and as you become aware of your thoughts, you tend to become a little bit more present in the moment. Um, and as you progress through this, you might even hit points of enlightenment, which is being fully in the present, fully in the now, and fully aware of what's going on in the moment. So being silent is very important, although it is really hard, because the mind, which was conditioned, obviously the internal mind chatter, it's like clouds. I mean, I think Eckhart Tolle or someone, I can't remember which spiritual master was talking about this, but imagine your mind like the sky, and the clouds are your thoughts. You know, they come and they float, and you just observe them without interacting with them or jumping on that cloud and riding the wave, which is the internal mind chatter. I hope you guys are following me. But yeah, being silent, like I said, through my experience, being silent makes you realize the amount of thoughts that float through your mind, the internal mind chatter. And it also makes you aware of the unconsciousness or internal chatter of minds in other people. In any situation, good or bad, even in good times, you know what, you'll have an internal mind chatter like, this is awesome, or you know, or whatever. Or sometimes maybe not, because you're enjoying yourself so much, whether it is, I don't know, sport or doing whatever, you're so in the moment that you are when you enjoy yourself, you're so in the moment that you don't have so much of internal mind chatter. But what happens is maybe the next day you would tend to replay that good moment in your head, and you know, run through that whole replay of the good times or the good times in the past, which is internal mind chatter. So being silent, being quiet is the best thing you can do in any situation. It is hard. It is not easy. I'm telling you, I've gone through this for a couple of years, and I'm still learning. But eventually, you learn to, you become more aware of your mind chatter and what is going on. So the next time you have an issue or a circumstance where you're in a situation, good or bad or alone, you're alone in a situation or alone in a place, just practice silence. That's also a form of meditation, right? Meditation is being quiet and learning to watch your thoughts and learning to be aware of your thoughts, and using that silence to learn and to become more aware of your internal mind chatter the more you practice silence. All right, guys, I hope this helps. This was a very interesting topic for me to talk to you about, because I couldn't really talk about it a while ago, because during that time I was myself, you know, figuring this out and trying to figure out how to, you know, be aware of the internal mind chatter. I love you guys. Don't feel free to subscribe and share if this has helped you. And I'm really happy to share all this with you as I go through my own journey of whatever I'm doing in my music career, doing it consciously and being aware of everything that's going on. So the more I become, aware and conscious, I will share my thoughts and opinions with you. Please do comment below if you have any questions. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, all right, and that notification button. Take care, guys.